Two, one. Okay, we're already live. Okay.
Yes.
Welcome back to another show. We're
All
glad
right.
to have you here. Remember, phones are silent. And remember, like last time I've told people, kids, stay in your seats. Tired of tripping over you. Because you want to go elsewhere and fiddle around and spill your pop. I'm not trying to have sticky shoes. That being said, welcome to another episode of Movie Madness.
And this time we will be we're talking about the new movie with David Harbour, Violent Nights.
This movie, according to Fandango, you know the site where you used to get movie tickets. Do they still do that now?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're still doing it. They called it a mix of Die Hard with Home Alone.
I would also, this may be a bizarre comparison, but I would also maybe throw in a little bit of Paul Blart.
Yeah, a little bit of Paul Blart as well.
Yeah.
But this was definitely, you know, across of those three movies put together. And well, we might as well start by what it is. So the premise of this movie is that it's Christmas Eve. His family of rich, well-to-do, so like, you know, what's the word? The kids of this matriarch of this family that have that, you know, I think it's an oil company. I think if I remember correctly, an oil company, and they're hosting like a Christmas family get together or something like that, and some of these characters, when you first meet them, you're like, don't like you, don't like you, don't like you. It's Christmas Eve night, and they're all gathered together.
They're all just a bunch of rich, pretentious.
Yeah. With one familiar face that I grew up watching, that was Beverly D'Angelo. Yeah. And in this movie, she really got to flex her acting chops a little bit more. Because she's so used to playing matriarch roles. Well, now she's older, she can play the pissed off matriarch role.
I love the Jean-Claude Van Dipshit.
That was a good line, actually. This movie's an action comedy.
Yeah.
And from the jump, this movie, it's funny, but it's also fun. It's also a fun action movie. But a little bit more emphasis on the comedy than on the action.
Yeah.
So anyways, we start off after we've met the family. But before the meeting of the family is the second cast. The first is meeting our hero of the movie, Santa Claus, played by David Harbour.
And he kills it.
He does well as Santa Claus.
Yeah, literally, he kills it. Like,
Yep. So, the first time we meet Santa Claus, he's in a bar. Okay? We'll give light spoilers. Just a little bit of light spoilers. You meet Santa Claus, he's at a bar, and he's being mistaken for a Santa that is like any mall Santa. Here's the thing. He has another mall Santa that pays for his tab. David Harbour's Santa goes up to the roof. Bartender chases after and says, "You can't go up there." She sees it's the real Santa. Santa is drunk off his ass. Drunk off his ass. And so what does he do when you're drunk off your ass? And your body doesn't like the alcohol? It rejects the alcohol. The same way it got in. Which was, blech. And so the bartender's like, "Oh my God, it's actually borscht." Slathered with throw up. And I gotta tell you, I was laughing at that part. I was like, this is already starting off pretty good. And it's great. It is great. So then we meet the cast, the family, and the heroine of the movie. Because the little kid.
The little girl, yeah.
The little girl is the heroine of the movie.
Yeah.
And my God. She's given some great lines, and she nails them. She does them really well. I enjoyed watching her. Like, when she was acting, I was like, that's pretty dang good. Whereas David Harbour, he played his Santa Claus pretty well, which was drunk. Which I'm like, dude, come on. Oh, but my God.
Okay. The teenage kid.
Oh my God.
You know who he reminds reminded me of
The douchebag you want to punch in the face.
was Flash Thompson from
The Amazing Spider-Man?
from the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I can see that, but he's a little bit more of a prick and a douchey asshole. But I don't know, maybe that's just because I'm like, I look at that guy and I've seen that stereotype so much, I'm like, dude, knock it the hell off. Oh. But anyways, so we meet that, and then all of a sudden, it's Christmas Eve night. On this stop, Santa goes to this rich family's house to drop off presents because, Santa is still a thing. Well, guess what? As soon as the hero shows up, it decides we're going to take a little bit into Die Hard territory. Terrorists show up. And who's running the whole operation?
I love John Leguizamo.
Yeah, John Leguizamo. And he was freaking good. He was hamming this up. And his code name is Scrooge. We don't know what all these people's names are.
Yeah. Well, except for John Leguizamo's character, who is revealed to be named Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Well, and also the blonde girl that's named Kira.
And
Bjorn.
Those
are the only ones that I honestly remember. The rest of them I can forget about. But that's because the actors and the actress actually developed Kira, Bjorn, and Jimmy as actual characters, somewhat three-dimensional characters. So you remember them a bit more. I mean, you don't even remember the code names. You just remember the names. And I was like, why the heck would you give a code name for Bjorn? That's a badass name right there. Bjorn. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone that's watching this, but is that not Norwegian for bear?
Huh. I didn't know that.
I'm going to look this up real quick. But I could have sworn I would rather be known as Bjorn as opposed to whatever Bjorn's code name was. Let me check. Is Bjorn Norwegian for bear? Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Look, Bjorn. Yep, Danish, Fernie's a Norwegian. The name means bear.
Huh.
Just call him Bear. Or even just stay with Bjorn. And I actually know that from God of War Ragnarok.
Okay, off topic, but I when I went to Orlando Comic Con, I met Ryan Hurst.
You met Ryan Hurst?
Yes.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is honestly really cool. And what did Ryan Hurst do? What panel was he there for?
He was doing a meet and greet.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. That's a cool thing to know. That's a cool thing to do. But let's get back to...
Yeah, I got my picture taken with him and everything, so...
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. So anyways, so terrorists take over this Christmas party, which just consists of dad and mom of the little girl.
Yeah. Speaking of Ryan Hurst, like that, I think he was supposed to be dressed as an elf.
Yeah. Oh, was he the one that was a sociopath or something like that?
I thought that was Ryan Hurst, but then I remembered that Ryan Hurst was taller than that. So,
So anyways, the terrorists, they disguise themselves as the catering party. But then once this whole thing is kicked off, which this has to be the smallest, and I do mean the smallest family get-together I've ever seen in my life. It consists of the parents of the daughter herself, the matriarch of the family, sister of the father, Jean-Claude Van Dipshit, and the teenage boy. In other words, 7 old people. But to be fair, this is a low-budget movie.
Yeah.
It was a budget of $20 million.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think the movie could have been a little bit longer.
Maybe. And I wouldn't have minded a couple more action sequences.
Well, I think the movie could have been a little bit longer just to like flesh out Santa's backstory more.
Honestly, I wouldn't have minded seeing a little bit more of Santa's backstory because I mean they were going for like making it comprehensive because apparently the Santa in this universe was a Viking.
Which is a cool idea.
It honestly is really cool, especially when you
Yeah.
see that he got wounded and he started stitching himself up. And you're like, holy smokes, look at those tattoos.
Yeah.
Then he goes into his backstory of who he is. I'm not going to give him any spoilers.
Mm.
But apparently Santa, when he was a Viking, was a bad dude. Like a really bad dude. Like he even describes he was a surgeon with his big war hammer. Which I'm like, that's sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So,
honestly, I do agree with fleshing it out a little bit more. And even actually getting to see Mrs. Claus.
yeah.
Because, granted, Santa is the main focus, but I wouldn't mind seeing who Mrs. Claus was.
Yeah.
Because we know that
She's mentioned once.
she is. She's mentioned once. But who knows? Maybe there will be a sequel and she comes in kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
Which I would not mind.
Yeah, I thought that maybe like Santa was gonna like actually die, and then the sequel would have been Mrs. Claus like seeking vengeance on him or something like that.
Yeah, but then but if Santa Claus would die, then somebody from the family would have to take up the mantle of Santa Claus.
Yeah, and then it becomes more about the Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And we already know about the
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So, but I would think, keeping him alive because of Christmas magic, which
Mhm.
is that we don't know how, we don't want to keep him dead.
Yeah.
So we're just going to bring him back.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It worked. But anyways, let's talk about some of the sequences that are in there.
Yeah.
I thought, the editing, a little wonky, the pacing just a little wonky as well. Because there were points where where the movie almost stopped dead in its tracks when it had good momentum going.
Mhm.
Like, for instance, seeing these action scenes and chase scenes where, Santa's running away, but he's cornered and he's got to fight. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. Real life scenario, you're going to try to get away. But then you got no choice but to fight.
Also, I kind of wish that Santa had quipped more.
Yeah. But Santa being a little bit more quippy would have been fun. Because the thing is, they're trying to go for the Die Hard angle. Die Hard wasn't just about the fights; it was the quips, the quick fires, where it's like, "Hey, German, hey, Deutsch boy, what? Bang!" Wisecracks like what Bruce Willis did.
Yeah.
Now, is that to say I didn't enjoy this movie? I did. I know. I absolutely enjoyed
Yeah.
this movie. This was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But there's one sequence that I have to say took the cake for this movie. It was the trap scene.
Yes.
The traps. This movie, when I say, and it was described as a combination of Die Hard and Home Alone. Die Hard, a little less. Home Alone, oh yeah. And no better place does it look like that than in the trap scene where Bjorn and Kira are going after the little girl. And what has she done? She's hidden herself up in the attic. And true to form, in true Home Alone fashion, she's left a nice little dangly bait out there by having the door open, nails on the rug, and one in the step. And that's like, okay, there's nails on the rug and one on the step. All I got to do is avoid that. Well, you don't see the trap that's going to have you miss that and land on all that stuff until, like, it happens to you. And it's great. She has sawed through part of the step, so it breaks. It's like the Home Alone traps, but added realism instead of cartoonish, and it's great. Like, the theater when I went to it, we were howling with laughter. Howling.
And going back to like the whole like quip thing.
Yeah.
When that star landed in that guy's eye,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
they like my first thought was, no, that's what I call a starry-eyed encounter.
I don't know. I personally would have said, hey, buddy, you seeing stars? But that's just me. It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
But some clips or something like that. Would have been cool.
Yeah.
Would have been cool to see. And then, so, you know, Santa's ducking and running. He's killing off all these bad guys because, you know, he's got to save Christmas. He has to help save this little girl.
It is a little bit predictable.
It is, but that's because it follows Die Hard's formula, which I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. And we got another furry friend with us. Lucy, come here. But anyways, so it brings in like Die Hard 1, elements of Die Hard 1, where it's predictable, you know, fight, beat up one guy, run away. Because they got guns, you ain't got no weapon.
Yeah.
Which, fair enough, we've already seen it, so it's predictable in that sense.
Yeah. And also, they state in the movie that this little girl's parents are, I guess they're like separated.
Yeah, they're separated, which honestly, they could have just, they didn't have to tell us, they could have just showed us.
Yeah. Yeah, but as soon as like they mentioned that, and then the girl's wish was like, I want my parents to get back together. It's like, I already know how this is gonna end.
Yeah, everybody knows how it's gonna end because I mean they did the thing in Die Hard, and it's been done before, so it's not unpredictable. It's purely predictable, which that's okay. No, I figure it's like okay, they're gonna do something where mom and dad are gonna get back together.
Yeah.
And it'll be a Christmas miracle. I'm like, come on, it's Hollywood movie magic. So after the traps, there's this kill squad where, because the terrorists have taken the family hostage, this kill squad is brought in to save mainly the matriarch. They don't give a crap about anybody else. So they come in, and Jean-Claude Van Dipshit is going out to meet them because he managed to get away. Take another element taken from Die Hard 2, where this military, they come in to help stop these terrorists. Nope. The military unit is involved with the terrorists, and bangity bang bang bang, Jean-Claude Van Dipshit's dead. Don't worry, you're not going to feel bad about this guy. He's entirely forgettable, and that's okay. I will give credit for the guy. He played a convincing, forgettable guy. And I hope he gets more roles where he's not like, you know, cast just as that forgettable and dumbass dipshit. But they go into, so anyways, terrorists come in, and it's right around this point where, you know, Santa is like, I can't take these guys because this group that was about, you know, this many people is now stretched out to about this many people. Well, now, of course, he suddenly remembers, you know, he's given that good old pep talk like, you can do this, Santa. You can kick some ass and take names. And once you know it, in the garage is a sledgehammer. Almost just like the one he used to have when he was a Viking.
Which was kind of convenient.
Too convenient. And honestly, this is the part that I expected to see a bit more of a Viking fighter, because apparently when Santa was describing himself as like a bad dude, like a crazed madman, I was expecting to see a fight like that. Where it's like, I want Santa to go absolutely berserk. I want him to go freaking nuts.
Yes.
Didn't get that.
Okay, one thing I will add.
Mhm.
I love the way the Naughty and Nice list looked.
That one actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where it's not this big, long list.
Mhm.
No, it's just a short little thing, and it tells you who's on. Like, you get the name, it's naughty or nice. That's cool and comprehensive and easy to work with and carry. As opposed to this long sheet of paper that, because I always thought when I was growing up, the naughty and nice list, there were these huge, long sheets of paper that would stretch for miles. No, did they have it like something small like that? Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good touch. A little bit of Christmas magic, maybe technology, but who cares? Anyway, so Santa Claus starts taking guys out, but he takes them more like Batman, which I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, but when you set up Santa to say he's a Viking in his past life, and then you have him start taking people out like Batman, no. I mean, granted, he was a thief and a bad guy, but he has to have experience on the battlefield going after people. Now, yes, they got guns. I get that. But you also see that when he taps his nose, he becomes like, a spectral form. But of course, it only works when he's near a fireplace.
Yeah.
So.
And I will say that some of these special effects in this movie were actually quite good.
They were, especially when he turned into a spectral form and went up the chimney.
Yeah.
That looked really nice. But I think one of my complaints is, like, I would have loved to have seen Santa go absolutely freaking berserk with this hammer, and instead it was almost like he was held back.
Yeah.
Which I would say, okay, but come on. You tell us Santa was a Viking, you give him his choice of weapon, which is a sledgehammer, a warhammer, and you hold him back and have him take people out like it's Batman. Don't get me wrong, I still like the bloodshed and him just going to town and acting suddenly like a warrior. That's pretty cool. But I wouldn't mind seeing him go berserk because I felt like Santa still had stores of energy left in him. He was just,
Yeah. Also,
he wasn't tired.
They have that like fight in the cabin.
Yes, the final fight between
Yes.
John Leguizamo and
David
Harbour. Yeah.
Then there's an explosion and they're pushed outside, and there's just like this random chimney.
Yeah, a random chimney right out in the woods.
I'm like, what? Like,
yeah, and it's not like there's a dilapidated part that connects to the chimney. No, it's the house cuts off like here-ish, and then boom, all the way over here is a chimney, just by itself, nothing else.
So I thought that was a little like.
That's a little bit like,
huh?
What? No, that don't make sense. So, anyways, John Leguizamo and David Harbour, they fight. Scrooge almost takes out Santa, but they're near this chimney that's conveniently placed. Tap of the nose. Leguizamo goes up the chimney with Santa. Santa turns into a spectral form. Leguizamo is turned into chunky meat. He's turned into Progresso's Chunky. Like Campbell's Chunky Soup.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you think, yeah, he did it. Bang, bang. Oh, come on, really? And you completely forget that the leader of the military unit, this general, is like, yeah, I'm still alive. Which is just one after another. And then, of course, because Santa took a few gut shots, he dies. And all the Christmas magic is brought back into him by having people believe in Santa Claus.
Like, am I watching Peter Pan? Like,
exactly. I'm like, when did this go to Disney levels of stupid? But to be fair, it's near the end of the movie. And it's like, we got to make sure the hero survives because, funny enough, there is an old written rule where the hero always has to win.
Oh, really?
Always has to. When they started making movies in like the 30s, they always had to have the hero win. There was one movie that actually there was an alternate ending.
Oh, really?
Where the bad guy was supposed to win.
What movie was this?
On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando. It was initially pitched where the alternate ending, actually the original ending, was where the bad guy wins and the hero, he's dead. He's thrown into the river to swim with the fishes. Yeah, the higher up said, no, we got to have the hero win. Which is why I enjoy Krampus, because the bad guy actually does win.
Oh, wow.
And you don't see movies like that. Yeah. Because I think it's interesting, but in this case, it's very much cookie cutter, Die Hard, Home Alone, good guys got to win.
Yeah.
Now, I would have to say this was an entertaining movie.
It was entertaining, yes.
But a lot of people were saying, oh, an instant holiday classic. Do I think it was?
Not
really. I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. You're going to get a kick out of it. It's a near 2-hour movie. on a $20 million budget. This thing can easily make its money and break even, no problem.
Yeah.
So I would honestly think there's probably going to be a sequel. This one's just to test the waters. And I think, there are some reviews out there that are saying this is actually a good movie. It's not bad. There is some stuff that is, put down your throat a little bit, where the dad is a little bit overly feminine and he's a kind of a wuss. And mom is, she's kind of a badass where, she's used to hunt with her dad. Okay, cool. So she knows her way around a gun. That's not bad, but, I would think, there is another scene that drove me nuts. Dad gets sent over the hay bale, and mom is struggling. She's getting choked out by this dude. Now, I know Dad, like he was just thrown over the hay bale. He shouldn't be knocked out or struggle to get up. So he should be coming in and just like wailing on this guy, punching him, and beating the living snot out of him to make sure his separated wife is alive and okay.
Yeah, which, okay, if they're supposed to be separated, then, like, why is she there?
Exactly. Like, there was no point. And it's one of those ones where it's like, the woman, and so woman's strong, okay, and she kills the guy that's choking her with an icicle. I think it's through his neck, if I remember correctly. I kind of forget. It's through his neck. She kills him. Mom and dad get back together because suddenly they love each other again.
Yeah, which it was like, okay, it's kind of, it was kind of cheesy.
It was overly cheesy. I was like, I could have done without this.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna have her like actually be there, then just don't have them be separated.
Well, I mean, you can have them separated.
Like, have them be like maybe like on the verge of separation.
Yeah, like they're having going through a rough patch in their marriage. Because it's described that the father, he's a brown noser. He's a kiss ass. And he's got no spine. So I'm like, so wouldn't they be going through a rough patch or something like that?
Yeah.
But anyways, I would say this movie's not an instant classic, but it's well worth watching at least once, maybe twice.
Yes.
Because when you got a movie that is, all about Christmas, and believe me, they're shoving Christmas down your freaking throat in this movie, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I actually like seeing a Santa that's like, I am sick of this crap. These kids only want video games. They don't want anything nice or small. They want like, and even when Santa's delivering gifts, it's like cash video games. I'm like, holy crap.
I thought the movie did have a nice commentary on like greed and consumerism.
Yeah, it did. Where it's like, don't ask for too much. And the thing is that I don't ask for a whole lot on Christmas. I don't ask for a whole lot of gifts. I used to when I was younger, when I was a little kid, but that's because I was a little kid. I wanted all the shit. But I'm older now, and I'm like, listen, socks and underwear. It's good enough. And literally, yeah, I'm like, I don't want anything. I just like want one or two things. That's it. If I want anything, if you want to get me something, you don't know what, just get me a gift card. I'll be fine with that. I can pick something out for me. Excuse me. And it's to say like everyone is like, they want this, that, and the other, especially kids. It's true. And of course, we live in an age where people want, and don't think of, saying, hey, maybe I just want this one little thing. And so the movie, I think it tries to do a combination of Die Hard and Home Alone together, but it does better on the Home Alone part than it does with the Die Hard.
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah. So if honestly, I would say this is a movie that's worth one, maybe two watches, no more than that.
Yeah.
So, what parts did you think do we still need to cover about this movie? Because we're going on like half an hour now.
Yeah. I think we covered just about everything.
Yeah. It's a good movie. I'm sure as the years go on, this might become more of a holiday staple.
Yeah.
It might, but for now, it's like right now, if I were to pick between Spirited and Violent Night,
I would pick Spirited.
Spirited has a much more likelihood of becoming an instant Christmas classic.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of Spirited, there's one other thing I wanted to mention.
Oh, follow up from last time.
About that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a scene in the movie where, without going into like too much spoilers, Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds are like going through like a Christmas party, and there's a moment where this guy comes up dressed in an elf costume. And it's the practically identical to the costume that
Will Ferrell wore?
Yes.
And what does Will Ferrell say?
You look stupid.
Okay, that's good. That is pretty good. Wow. You look stupid. Well, it's an elf costume. All right. Well, let's see. So, what other Christmas movies are out like right about now? Oh, there was one movie my girlfriend was watching last night.
Oh.
I guess it took the concept of Prince and the Pauper and made it into a Christmas movie where there's
Oh, is it that one with
it's
Vanessa Hudgens?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
It looks like it's done pretty decently.
Okay.
But I was kind of not paying attention. I was paying attention more to cooking than anything.
Yeah.
But apparently this one girl that grew up poor, she's great as a baker. She switches places with this Duchess who doesn't want anything to do with royal life. And so they switch places, and I don't know how it ends or how it goes, but I imagine the jig is up, the ruse is shown when they are when it's found out that one can't bake and the other one just is like meh.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about. I think there's like at least 3 of those movies.
Yeah, it's a Hallmark movie, and it's like, and I was telling her yesterday, it's like this looks like The Prince and the Pauper for Christmas, and she was saying, well, it's pretty much like it, people that are identical, not related whatsoever, but they're somehow identical to each other. They switch places. I've seen this with Beethoven. I've seen this with Prince and the Pauper, both the animated feature and a movie.
Yeah.
This is nothing new. This is Mark Twain's story, Prince and the Pauper, all over again.
Yeah. Didn't Parent Trap do that too? Like,
I don't know. Did it?
I think so.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like Hallmark movies.
Yeah, they get a little samey over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this Christmas, Rob Schneider is a Karen. Like, I'm joking around here with that stuff, but it's like, you've seen a Hallmark movie, they're kind of the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I was up at 3:30 this morning.
Oh.
Yeah, because I was coming from my girlfriend. She's all the way out, an hour away from me, so I came back, and as soon as I got back to Bay, it was 4:30 in the morning. I had to get to work. So I'm a little tired. But in this case, so I would say with Violent Night, it's good, but
it's entertaining.
It is entertaining, and if it makes enough money, there is probably going to be a sequel.
Yes.
Which, as a matter of fact, I want to check to see what its box office draw is.
Yeah, like between this and like Spirited, like these are the kinds of movies that I want to see more of.
Yeah, ones where you just go and you turn your brain off.
Yeah.
Can't Top Film earned 1.04. Let me see. Okay, just checking Variety real quick. Ho Ho Hoarding projected 11.8 million opening. Economical budget of 20 million production budget. Yeah. And there wasn't really much in terms of like marketing on this movie. I saw it on Snapchat. I was like, this actually looks good. But yeah. Landed so with critics and earned a more positive B+.
Oh, cool.
That seems a bit high. I would honestly say this is probably like a B-, maybe C+.
Yeah.
Strong C+. Weak B-. Don't care about that. Top Gun. Earning 4.9 million on Friday. So this thing I think took about like 11 million in the weekend. And it was projected to take 10 million, which, hey, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I would say this is a lot like what they've been doing with like movies like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and
it's movies that are supposed to be stupid and you don't take it seriously and you just turn your brain off and have fun.
Yeah, they got another one focusing on the Grinch coming out.
Yeah. They gave it the same as Winnie the Pooh, right?
Yeah. Which, like, I'll be honest, I love this idea of turning these like classic fairy tales into horror movies.
Yeah.
So
now, see, I have said for years, the only thing missing from Halloween is a scary Santa Claus. That will scare the living daylights out of kids super easily. Because suddenly they'll be hearing Christmas music. Santa Claus is coming to town. They're like, Santa! And they're getting scared the living daylights out of. They hear Santa Claus is coming to town. Boom! Santa's got a chainsaw. Tell me that wouldn't scare the living daylights out of you. Because I know if I was a little kid and I saw that, I'd be scared. I would be scared. But I would think, go see this movie. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we talked about Elf. We talked about Violent Night.
We talked about Spirited.
We talked about, this, I think the Princess Switch or something like that. That Vanessa Hudgens Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And excuse me. What do you think we should talk about next? Then why don't we try to shoot for a more regular schedule? I think we should try to talk about 2 movies per podcast.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think we should do like a classic staple?
Yeah.
I think I've got 3 in mind. There is Christmas Vacation, A Christmas Story. Actually, we should talk about A Christmas Story and A Christmas Story Christmas together.
Well, okay, I have not seen it, the new Christmas Story.
Me neither. So we need to see that.
I think that's on HBO Max. Which I don't have. So.
Yeah, I don't have that either. Which we're just 2 guys, so we don't have all the money in the world for this.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to talk about Christmas Story.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should talk about Grinch.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, if we do Grinch, we got to talk about both iterations of Grinch.
Yes.
Well, actually, wait. There's three now, isn't there? There's one with Boris Karloff, the original that you and I grew up watching. There's Jim Carrey's,
Yes.
which we both grew up watching as
And
well.
then there's the Illumination one.
There's the Illumination one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Which I'm told didn't do so well.
It was alright.
Like it tried to be like appealing to this new younger generation. Where honestly, I would rather say just show them the Boris Karloff one. Because if there's one thing kids like, and our generation also likes, it's a solid animation.
Yeah.
So, and the Boris Karloff one still holds up, and that was done in like the 60s, man.
Yeah.
The 60s.
Yeah.
If that thing can still hold up 60 years later, 60 years plus, show that one. You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Although the Jim Carrey movie has become like
It has become such a cult and staple classic.
yes.
Which initially it was. I will say this, it was decent. It wasn't okay. It was actually pretty decent. Which is not like Violent Night, which was okay and decent.
Yeah.
This one was actually pretty decent, and it's only gotten better with age.
A lot of it has to do with Jim Carrey.
Yes, very much so. Like Jim Carrey is a very expressive, very highly expressive actor.
Mm-hmm.
And so with all that makeup, he went full cartoon on that. And they tried to do the same thing with, Cat in the Hat, and that was just a that was doggy farts.
Yeah.
Oh. So I think what we should talk about, why don't we do Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation?
Okay.
Have you seen Christmas Vacation?
I think once.
Okay. I love that movie. I make sure to watch it every Christmas season at least once.
Yeah.
At least once as a family.
Yeah. I remember going over to your house once and we watched it.
And it's absolutely hilarious in all its glory. Cult classic glory. Okay, so I think next time we talk about Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation.
Yes. Okay.
And I don't think anybody needs to know the plot of those. Like that, those are movies people have seen. But anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up for us on this one. Another short one. Well, not so much short. It is still fairly long. But we normally go for like 50 minutes. But we've run out of stuff to talk about with this movie because it's... Excuse me.
Yes. Okay, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord.
Yeah, the link is in the description for our Discord.
Yes. And
we will see you all at the next showing. Please make sure to pick up your popcorn and snacks.
yes.
Wash your face, brush your teeth. Make sure to check in with your folks, see how they're doing. Make sure you're doing okay. If you would like to join a welcoming community, please join our Discord. We would love to have you.
Yes.
All right, and have a Merry Christmas. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Ooh, Home Alone is something we have to
Of course,
Yeah.
we need to talk about that one.
Yeah.
We absolutely do. We got to plan these out, so we got to do these like rapid fire because it's Christmas month and there's a lot of Christmas movies. So we'll see y'all at the next showing.
See ya.
Bye.